Welcome to PWS United, a podcast for the Prader-Willi syndrome community, brought to you by PWSA USA. This podcast gives the latest news in research, advocacy, and family support by bringing together staff, volunteers, PWS treatment specialists, biotech and pharmaceutical representatives, caregivers, family members, and individuals with PWS. Our goal is to share education, awareness, and resources with those living with PWS and their supporters. Join us in our mission to enhance the quality of life and empower those affected by Prader-Willi syndrome.
Hey guys, it's Annie. I just wanted to pop in here for a quick clarification. We started the Pulse talking about International 15Q Day, which is about 3 conditions. I talk about that in this Pulse episode, but I mispronounced Angelman syndrome. I know better. For whatever reason, when we were recording, I said Angelman. It's not that. It's Angelman syndrome. So just be aware of that. Thanks. Hi, Carrie.
Hi, Annie. It's so good to see you.
Good to see you too. How was your weekend?
It was wonderful. I got to spend some time with family, and I got my dog back from my mom, who's been watching him for the past month, because I was, as you know, in the beautiful Cabo, Mexico for a week at a wedding. Shout out to Melanie for helping record the last Pulse update episode. But yeah, it's been a lot of winding down, kind of getting back into the groove of things here, but it's been wonderful. How about you?
Well, I'm glad you had a good weekend. I also had a great weekend. I've been out in the hills at our property by myself, just with the goats and the dogs and the cats and the wood stove and the rain, and just been blissing out in solitude. So this is my taking care of myself for National Family Caregivers Month. I'm taking care of myself by taking myself away from my family. And then I'm really looking forward to seeing them again. So I'm excited that Thanksgiving break is coming up and my girls and I can just sit around and play games and puzzles. So yeah,
it's going to get a clean house.
In a nice clean house.
To go.
Yeah. Yep.
I love it. Well, that is wonderful. I know, I cannot believe Thanksgiving is in a week. That's a week and a half. That's wild.
I know. And this will be the first year that my oldest daughter won't be with us because she just came home for Freya's birthday, and then she'll be home in a couple weeks after Thanksgiving. And so it's expensive to fly up here. So she's staying down there with some friends, and I'm sad about it. We used to host like big 60 people Thanksgivings out here, and now it's just going to be a mellow little, not even a full family Thanksgiving. But I know I'm a little sad, but it's okay.
Yeah, still enjoyable. Still got nature and puzzles and games, and sometimes that's enough, you know.
Yeah. So we are going to get into the Pulse volume 111, and this is from November 15th, 2024, so last Friday. And last Friday, November 15th every year, is International 15Q Day. And this is a day to recognize and spread awareness of 3 syndromes caused by abnormalities on the 15th chromosome. So this is Prader-Willi syndrome, Angelman syndrome, and chromosome 15q 11.2-13.1 duplication syndrome, otherwise known as DUP15Q syndrome. So while they are unique in what causes each of these disorders, they display many similar characteristics and symptoms. There are no cures for any of these 3 syndromes, and they share the need for more research and treatment options. I did write up a blog about these, just comparing these 3, and just to give people a little better idea of what they are, and that will be linked to the show notes. And one of the things that we did on Friday was that we asked people to donate $15 to PWSA for 15Q Day. And that day is over, but of course our Angel Drive is still happening. And so we just want to encourage people to help us support the PWS community by supporting us. And if that's $15 or any other amount, we welcome it all. And we are grateful for it all. So there will be a donation link as well. And We have a quote that we wanted to share from Mom Sue Cologne talking about the importance of donating to PWSA. We'll share this quote in Sue's own voice. Here it is.
I think any service that PWSA USA has to offer, I have utilized, and it has helped us tremendously, helps many other families tremendously, and it has been life-changing for us. I can say I don't know where we would be without this organization. They're our support system, they're our people, and they understand. And if it wasn't for them, I don't know where we would be, where a lot of us would be. Your donation is going to impact and change people's lives on a daily basis the way it has to mine.
All right. Thank you so much, Sue, for that. We really appreciate those words and your support. And our Spotlight on Hope this week is from Mom Manira Saleh. I hope that I am saying that right. I apologize if I'm not. Last name is Saleh. And she sent in some really adorable pictures of her baby. And she had this to say: Jamal has been going from strength to strength, all while smiling. We spent a month in the NICU before he got the diagnosis as he turned 7 months. By this time, he had already gotten rid of his feeding tube, had 2 surgeries, and was enjoying PT and OT. It has been amazing to watch him take his first bottle, enjoy his first solid meal, and learning how to roll and sit up by himself. Jamal is now focused on learning how to walk, having started his growth treatment, and we can't wait to celebrate more milestones. Learning how to swim is his favorite thing in the world, as well as going for walks in the rain. His love for people is huge, so anything we need to do outside takes that much longer since Jamal will smile, wave, and interact with many. I feel so blessed to be this angel's mom, and I'm so very proud of him.
It's so sweet.
Yeah, so sweet. Thank you, Manira, for sharing that. We love reading these spotlights on hopes, and they can range anywhere from just, letting us know about your loved one, who they are, to sharing a specific momentous event like graduating college, graduating high school, or climbing a volcano, or getting a shot in a basketball game. Anything that you would like to share, we are excited to hear it and share it with the rest of the community. So there will be a link to share your spotlight on hope in the show notes.
And we're definitely looking for more for the new year, which is approaching very quickly. So please send those in. We, again, love to celebrate all of the accomplishments, successes, stories of our community.
Yeah.
So moving on now to some events and fundraisers going on in the PWS community, and something new to share about our International PWS conference for June 2025 is that the Foundation for Prader-Willi Research, or FPWR, is now offering a limited number of $1,000 travel awards to support trainees who will be attending the 2025 International Conference's clinical and scientific program. And those dates are June 25th through 26th, 2025 in Phoenix, Arizona. Travel funds can be applied to the conference registration fee, economy airfare, hotel, meals, and ground transportation. Applications must be completed in English, and the application deadline is January 31st, 2025. Applicants will be notified by March 14th, and award funding will be dispersed after the conference by FPWR upon receipt of a travel reimbursement form and accompanying receipts. For any queries regarding this application, you can contact Caroline at fpwr.org. That's her email. And you can learn more by visiting the link in our show notes. And we also want to take a moment to thank everyone who submitted an application for PWSA USA's conference scholarship. We really appreciate your interest in attending the 2025 conference, and we are so grateful for the opportunity to help families in our community attend. The scholarship application process has ended, and those selected to receive a scholarship will be notified by December 1st, 2024. Also, through that date of December 1st, we are collecting artwork for the Theme 3 of our Rare Aware Art Share to usher in PWSA USA's 50th anniversary. Individuals living with PWS are invited to create a piece of art using the prompt, "What is your favorite birthday memory?" We welcome anyone living with PWS to participate in this art share, no matter where you live and regardless of whether or not you will be attending the 2025 conference. We also encourage those who submitted artwork for Theme 1 or Theme 2 to submit artwork for this new theme as well. And once you have completed your art piece, please submit a digital image of the artwork using the form found at the Rare Aware Art Share link in our show notes. And these pieces, Annie, will definitely be part of the focal point of the decor for our conference. So we're really looking forward to showcasing them, in the conference space at our 50th birthday celebration that Friday night during the conference, and just really getting people to see these incredible art pieces. And I know people have been seeing them on our website and on our social media, but I think there's going to be something like a little extra special about
seeing them in person.
Displayed in person. Yeah. And watching people walk through and read them. And yeah, I cannot wait to see it all in one spot.
Yeah, it's going to be really nice. And I do encourage people to check out if you haven't seen them yet, to go back to our Instagram or our Facebook and scroll through and look at the pieces that we've shared. We've shared them all and for both themes, and there's just, people are loving them, and it's very exciting when they come up, and there are some really impressive pieces. They're all very sweet and lovely to see. And Freya has submitted for each of the themes, and she wants to start working on her one for this theme because she just had her 13th birthday. And one of her favorite things was that the 8th graders, she calls them the 8th graders, but they're freshmen now, but they came to her birthday party at the park because they were, they all kind of took her under her wing. They all played basketball. And she plays basketball, and were really sweet to her when they were at the school, and always played basketball with her at recess and looked out for her. And so they are in high school now, and they came to her birthday party at the park, all of them. And it was just so incredible and so sweet. And so she wanted to make a piece representing that. And she was like wanting to put their photos in a collage. And I was like, I love that idea, but I don't think we can do that. Like, I have to get permission.
Gotta get permission.
Yeah, like you could draw them maybe, but
I was gonna say maybe drawing them and the park surrounding her, that would be beautiful. But I get where she's coming from. I like that idea too, but I understand your concerns.
Yeah, we'll see what she comes up with, but I love that this inspires these ideas.
Love it. I can't wait to see more birthday memories out there. That'll be great. And Freya's. All right, moving on now to our Angel Drive campaign. So Annie already mentioned this campaign and that you can go in and donate $15 in honor of the 15Q Day. But this Angel Drive really is our largest annual fundraising campaign, and it's dedicated to bringing hope and essential support to families and individuals impacted by Prader-Willi syndrome. And this year, the Angel Drive not only supports our life-changing programs like school advocacy, medical crisis support, and caregiver resources, but also marks the beginning of our 50th anniversary celebration. So your donations directly fuel our mission, helping families access vital services, empowering individuals, and fostering a connected and resilient PWS community. And as a little bonus this year, if you contribute by December 15th, even though the campaign does last until December 31st, but if you contribute by the 15th, you will be entered for a chance to win one of 4 very great prizes. We have an Apple smartwatch, a $300 Amazon gift card, some customizable PWS Nike shoes, and a PWSA USA swag bag filled with many amazing things: a bag, mugs, bracelets, shirts, water bottles, towels, stickers, just, the whole 9. So we cannot wait.
I would be excited to win
those.
I would be excited to win any of those.
Right. I would as well. So yeah, definitely put your donations in if you're planning to donate this year by December 15th for a chance to win one of those great prizes. And an additional final thing about our Angel Drive this year, we are doing our Hope in Action video series. And this series shares powerful stories of resilience and hope from the PWS community, highlighting the many ways PWSA USA is making a difference. From school support to crisis assistance, advocacy, and more, each story showcases the real life impact of our programs and the strength of our families. We are releasing new videos every week throughout the duration of our Angel Drive campaign. We've already released 3 at this point. Some really beautiful stories have been shared, and specifically a medical crisis one that I'm going to talk about a little bit later on in this episode. But we will continue to share more throughout the next several weeks. And Annie, they are some very, very powerful stories. I think you'd agree with me when I say that.
Absolutely. Yeah, these videos are beautiful. You've done a wonderful job, and the stories that are there and the way you put them together to tell that story in this way is just, it's really moving and touching. And I love these videos. So great job.
Well, thank you. Thank you. That's something I love about my job at PWSA USA is I have this platform and opportunity to do stories like these. And what a better way to do this than to help promote, our services and, just keeping that lasting legacy of PWSA, especially as we usher into the 50th anniversary by promoting the work we do and the donations it takes to continue to do the work. So if you have an opportunity to go and watch those, highly suggest it. We will have a link to our video playlist in our show notes. Moving on to some in-person event news. So the PWSA USA of Washington and Oregon will host a PWS Christmas party coming up, which is so exciting. It sounds so fun. I want to go. I live nowhere near these places, but if you do, I highly suggest taking a drive over to the Footprints Church, which is at 801 Northeast 194th Street in Ridgeville, Washington, and attending this wonderful event. So, as I mentioned, PWSA Washington and Oregon, they're hosting this Christmas party, and the festivities will include a visit from Santa from 1 to 2:30 p.m. with gifts for all the children and PWS guests in attendance. And the guests will also receive a low-calorie Christmas snack and diet beverage. There will also be Christmas music and activities. And then from 2:30 to 3:30, there will be a brief meeting hosted by PWSA of Oregon and Washington with their members. And parents are welcomed and encouraged to join and hear about the exciting new PWS map that will be unveiled by PWSA of Washington and Oregon, and then other upcoming events that they'll be hosting. And then you can also stay longer and just visit with other parents as well, which is always a great opportunity when these in-person events come up.
Yeah, this looks exciting. And even though I don't live in Washington or Oregon, but I do live in far Northern California. I like to say the real Northern California. People from San Francisco try and claim it, but no.
You're like right on the border.
Yeah,
Oregon,
I'm really
basically
close to the border. Yeah, so technically the Pacific Northwest. I'm here in the Pacific Northwest, and I would love to be there. And one of these days, I'm going to make it to one of the Washington and Oregon events because I think they do some fun stuff.
They do, and they do a lot of great work. And again, they're going to be unveiling a PWS map, which will show where all the individuals in the area or in the Pacific Northwest in those specific states live, and how you can connect with other families. So they're really putting in a lot of effort to make sure that families in your neck of the woods, Annie, feel connected and are able to find each other and just find their people. So we are so appreciative to them for hosting this great party. I don't even think I mentioned that it's December 14th, but that's when it is. And it will just be a great day and a lot of great fun. And for those attending, you are encouraged to RSVP to Vani, and we will have her email and phone number in our show notes to connect with her and let her know that you will be coming. Another great PWS chapter is the Texas Prader-Willi Association, and they're going to be hosting a great event coming up as well. It's their 2025 biannual statewide conference, and that will be taking place on February 1st, 2025 from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and that will be hosted in Houston, Texas at the Spring Branch Presbyterian Church. So those in the area or those who would like to fly into Texas for this great event, you are invited to join the Texas Prader-Willi Syndrome Association community for a special one-day event. Again, their biannual statewide conference. And some of the great features of this conference include listening to medical professionals specific to PWS, learning from behavior experts, attending breakout sessions on transition, wills and trust, and working with educators and more. Finding out the latest news on clinical trials, networking with parents, caregivers, coping with PWS, meeting a variety of exhibitors and representatives from PWSA USA and FPWR, and more. And then lunch will be provided, and infants and toddlers registered for childcare must bring their own food. PWS individuals registered for childcare, though, will receive a meal that meets PWS guidelines, or you can also provide your own meal for them as well. Admission for this conference is $50 for an individual and then $25 for childcare. And we will have more information on how to register and who to contact with questions in our show notes.
Yeah, and can I just say, just wanted to share some of the speakers because I think they have some amazing speakers. They're going to have Michael Tan, who works with Dr. Miller, the dietitian, Patrice Carroll, who we love, works with Latham Centers, and Elizabeth Roof, who I believe is with Vanderbilt University. And there's more speakers, but I just wanted to point out some of the speakers that are going to be there, names that I recognize. And then I believe, like you said, Carrie, if you want more information about that, you'll find some information to reach out to people in the show notes. And now we're on to advocacy, and we have some exciting news about our Director of Community Engagement, Dorothea Lant. We are thrilled to announce that she has been selected to join the RDLA Advisory Committee for 2025. And RDLA stands for Rare Disease Legislative Advocates. So as a member of this distinguished group, Dorothea will collaborate with other rare disease advocacy leaders to elevate the voices of those impacted by rare diseases, including Prader-Willi syndrome, in key legislative and policy discussions. Her role will include providing essential guidance on RDLA activities, participating in advocacy events like Rare Disease Week on Capitol Hill, and engaging advocates across the country. So a huge congratulations to Dorothea on this well-deserved recognition and opportunity to make a difference for the rare disease community.
So well-deserved, as many of our listeners are thinking the same thing. I think when we posted this on Facebook, Annie, we just had like over 30 comments of just, this is definitely Dorothea's wheelhouse. So deserved, and she's going to rock it. So we can't wait to see what Dorothea does with this great committee.
Yeah, absolutely. And from a marketing perspective, I realize now whenever we post anything about Dorothea doing some advocacy work, we shouldn't post anything else
right
on that day.
It takes over.
It does. So our next bit of advocacy is also honoring somebody on our staff. Kristi Rickenbach and her daughter Justice were featured in Soleno Therapeutics' Our Stories video. Our Stories is a spotlight series created by Soleno Therapeutics, and Kristi and Justice, who is 20, share the journey of transitioning into adulthood with PWS. Justice's story reflects her desire for independence and the steps she takes to manage PWS while working toward autonomy. This video testimonial captures the balancing act of nurturing independence while providing the support Justice needs to thrive as an adult. So to stay informed and connected, you can sign up for updates at supportforpws.com. That will be in the show notes. This is a platform provided by Soleno Therapeutics, created to help bring hope to families affected by PWS. And we will have a link to the video if you would like to watch that.
Moving on to some family support news. So as I mentioned a little earlier in this episode, Annie, we are doing these very powerful Hope in Action video spotlights. And while they are all catered to, raising awareness and funds for our Angel Drive campaign, the stories themselves are just so beautiful and really tell personal stories of PWS individuals and their families. And one of them focuses on behavior and medical crisis support that our family support team offers. So managing daily life with PWS, as we all know, is challenging. And when crisis strikes, PWSA USA's medical and family support services are always here as a lifeline. Our expert team offers compassionate and educated guidance and resources when families need it most. In May of 2024, Gracie turned to PWSA USA when her daughter Angel, who is 11 and living with PWS, experienced a medical emergency. With immediate help from our family support team, Gracie felt reassured knowing she wasn't alone. Ultimately, the guidance given to the ER doctors by senior family support counselor Kim Tula helped to save Angel's life. And you can read this full story at the link in our show notes of how Gracie and Angel were supported in their moment of need, and also learn how the Angel Drive helps families like theirs every day. And you can also watch their full video interview at the link in our show notes as well.
I really appreciate hearing other people's stories and getting to hear how PWSA has helped, learning the different ways that families approach things. And, because we're all trying to figure it out. So
Yes.
it's awesome to know that PWSA is here, and also to read the stories of other families. And on that note, I wanted to put out a call, for the last, I think, 5-6 months, once a month, we put out the PWS and Adulthood blog series, and people have been really appreciating getting a glimpse of what it looks like, PWS and adulthood, and how families navigate that. And so I just want to put out another call for that, because we do not have one yet for December, and I really want to keep it going. So if you are the parent or caregiver or a sibling, grandparent, cousin, whatever, if you have a loved one in your life with PWS who is an adult and you are well versed in their situation and what that looks like, we would love to hear about it and hear how it is navigated. So I will have my email, afreaky@pwsausa.org, in the show notes, so you can email me that. So I'd love to keep that going. So let's keep sharing our stories.
Thank you for that shout out, Annie. Yes. Those stories have been amazing, and I want to see more of those myself. So if you're listening, have an adult living with PWS, please send us in just their story or something specific that you want to highlight about them, and we'd love to add it into our great series here. And I just really quickly want to make sure that everybody knows what our 24-hour medical crisis line is. If you're ever experiencing a medical emergency or just want to talk to someone on our staff, our phone number is 941-312-0400. And again, that is available 24 hours every single day of the year, holidays included. And our team is always available if you need our help. And speaking of our family support and medical team being available for help, our Ask Nurse Lynn is always available as well. And we get some great questions that come in. And this week's question was submitted for a female who is 38 years old with a deletion subtype. And the question submitted was, our daughter has significant dental issues and needs to have multiple procedures. The dentist has recommended that we tackle the issues all at once in a hospital setting with anesthesia. I am immediately concerned by all the possible complications, but also recognize the need to try and save some of her teeth. We were unaware of the deterioration of her dental health until we recently had her braces removed, and were able to visualize the extent of the enamel erosion. Is there a consensus among the health experts as to the safest way to manage major dental procedures? And you can read Nurse Lynn's response to this at the link in our show notes.
Yeah, and I will say that this one does deal more with anesthesia and the concerns about anesthesia. And there are a long list of concerns. So definitely check out the blog. And somebody commented on social media, the impression they got was that just to avoid anesthesia. And so I reached out to Nurse Lynn to see if she had a comment to that. And she said, no, that's not what she's saying, but just that you need to make sure that the doctor who's in charge really understands the concerns. But, as long as they understand the concerns, really understand the intricacies of PWS. And if they do, then you can move forward. So just a little clarification on that.
Thank you, Annie. Yeah, that's a great question. And I think it's something that many people in our community would also want to ask. So another, as always, shout out to Lynn for helping get that answered. And if you have a non-emergency medical question about PWS, you can always submit the question to our Ask Nurse Lynn webpage and our form, and we will have that link in our show notes as well. Moving on to our next family support webinar opportunity, which as always is free for anyone to attend. And it's actually going to be taking place today, Tuesday, November 19th at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. And this live webinar, facilitated by the wonderful and knowledgeable Lisa Graziano, will help your babysitter, respite worker, and even relatives better understand how to care for your child or adult more safely, which gives you greater opportunity to enjoy date nights, self-care moments, and even weekends away. The webinar underscores the need to follow parents' care exactly and offers strategies to provide food security, decrease arguing, and increase cooperation. And if you are able to attend this webinar on Tuesday, November 19th, we will have a link to register in our show notes. And we, as always, will have a recording to this following the presentation on PWSA USA's YouTube channel and our social media pages. We also now have the recording for our October Family Support webinar available, which was Support PWS Research and Create Community with Maria Piccone and Kristi Felice. And they discussed the importance of the PWS Connect Discord group. We highly encourage everyone to go take a listen to that great webinar with Maria and Chris talking about the importance of this group and the incredible research opportunities that it brings. So we will have that link in our show notes as well. And Annie, I want to pass the baton to you to discuss this next family support topic, just because it's about you specifically.
Sure. Well, it's not about me, but
With you, sorry.
We can make it about me. No. So yeah, I am offering a journaling and story sharing for caregivers workshop, circle, meetup, whatever you want to call it, on Zoom this Friday, November 22nd. And that's 10 a.m. Pacific and 1 p.m. Eastern. That will be on Zoom, and there are limited spots. I have a few spots left, so you can email me personally, africky@pwsausa.org, and that will be in the show notes. But this will be a space where, I've done some journaling workshops, and I'm going to email the participants a little bit of notes about journaling beforehand. But I'm not so much going to go over what journaling looks like, how to journal, all that stuff. We'll talk a little bit about it, but it's mostly I wanted to create the space. We're going to have a shared prompt, and then we're going to write together for about 10 minutes and see what comes up. And then we're going to open it up and share. So that's why I was kind of keeping it small and intimate. So this is a space for parents, caregivers to come and to kind of get their thoughts flowing a little bit about their experience as caregivers, and then share and just kind of find that camaraderie and that community in the sharing. So that's what this is about. So if you're interested in that, there are a few spots left. So send me an email and I'll sign you up.
Thank you for hosting that, Annie. That will be, I think, really beneficial to a lot of people. And I personally love everything about self-care. I think it's so important. And I know that you're very passionate about journaling and do it, daily. So, and it's something that I think you'd agree has helped you a lot on your journey. And I just love that you're able to share that with others and, make that space for them. So.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Thanks. Well, I'm excited to do it. I love being in that space, and I love doing it with people for the first time, because inevitably, it's not always going to happen, but people are like, wow, that was incredible. Like, because a lot of people don't give themselves the time to sit down and write, and especially to do it collectively. And it can be a really amazing, healing, inspiring experience. So I love to do it. I love to be a part of it. And yeah, writing keeps me sane. So
it's important.
Yeah. So now on to research. And we were just talking about, or Carrie, you were just talking about the webinar from Trend, and they have a new report out on pain. So before Trend Community switched to Discord, we were partnering with them on Facebook, and they were taking data from the conversations. And just to clarify once again that this data was de-identified, nobody's names or information came along with any of these conversations, but they were able to pull out information, words, topics, keywords that people were talking about. And so they put that together into a report, and then this report can be shared with researchers and pharmaceutical companies, and it gives these places an idea of what it is families are concerned about, what families are talking about, what issues we're having. And so that is the point of this. That is the point of the PWS Connect on Discord, is to find community, create that community, these open conversations that are also fueling research, not with your personal information, but with the topics that we're talking about and what is important to families of PWS. So this report on pain came from a few years on Facebook, and there will be a link to this in the show notes. And it just kind of goes into the most common types of pain and the affected body parts, also the pain medications discussed, as well as the associated sentiments, and finally trying to explore the experience of reduced pain sensitivity in individuals with PWS. And so if you want to learn more about Trend, if you want to read that report, you will find that link in the show notes. Harmony Biosciences announces a new trial site for the Tempo trial, and this is the pitolisant trial. This is the trial that Freya is a part of that we've been documenting for those who have been paying attention to that. And this is to treat excessive daytime sleepiness. And this new study site is in Sacramento, California, at the Center of Excellence in Diabetes and Endocrinology. They now have 14 sites, I believe. And if you're interested in finding a site near you, there is a link to that in the show notes. And this one is interesting. This is a virtual hyperphagia study. So they're trying to come up with a way to measure hyperphagia so that when FDA is putting out these treatments like DCCR, there's a way to measure it. So this new opportunity is for individuals aged 10 and older with Prader-Willi syndrome to participate in a study aimed at measuring hunger. This simple, semi-structured Zoom interview allows people with PWS to share their experience with hunger and its impact on their lives, providing valuable information, which we'll present to the FDA. Participation is easy, so we'll have a link to get signed up. And once you get signed up, you complete a brief questionnaire and the individual with PWS fills out a quick assent form. Then a trained interviewer will schedule a 10 to 15 minute meeting with the participant using clear, standardized prompts to ensure understanding. And with your help, they hope to reach 150 participants so the FDA can use this data to support effective treatments for hunger in people with PWS. So please consider sharing this opportunity with your networks to help us reach families everywhere. And again, a link to participate will be in the show notes. And I'll link to the study flyer so that you can read more about it. On to our call for abstracts for the 2025 International PWS Conference. The call for abstracts for the professional providers program submission has ended, but we are still open for the clinical and scientific program submission. The deadline for that will be January 31st, 2025, and you can find that link in the show notes. And we also have an upcoming Echo for PWS webinar, and this is with Harold Van Boss. This is Orthopedics and PWS. And this will be Tuesday, December 17th, 2024 at 2 p.m. PST, 5 p.m. EST. And the location is on Zoom, and you will find a link to that in the show notes. And you will also find a link to Project Echo, where you can watch past recordings like psychiatry or cardiac concerns. And just a reminder clarification that the Echo webinar is for professional providers to attend. But we do, once they've been recorded, we will have the recording for families to watch. So if you are interested, let your care provider know and they can join. And then you can watch the recording later.
All right. And finally, we have our PWSA USA resource spotlight. And Annie, I picked this one as we're kind of approaching that holiday season. And you actually made this great gift sensory resource guide last year with a lot of links for, gifts that are more sensory specific for our loved ones with PWS. And I just think it's so helpful. And I think last year we saw so many people be so appreciative of, having a lot of links and options in one spot. So I thought it'd be a great opportunity to reshare that if you missed it last year, or if you want a refresher, or if you're a new parent. And they're all kind of listed by topic instead of age group, which I think is something that we did in the past. But this is more by sensory topic, which I think helps clarify a little bit better, maybe what you're looking for, help you get there quicker. So shout out to you, Annie, for building that.
Well, thank you. And this was actually one of the first blogs I wrote for.
Yeah.
One of the first things I did, because I just had my 1 year anniversary.
I was going to actually, and really quick, we will have a link to this.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. We will have a link to this great gift sensory blog post in our show notes. But to end here, Annie, I did want to kind of put you on the spot. give you the floor just because it was your 1-year anniversary very recently, but just like a little recap of what you've learned and felt and just any kind of takeaways, I guess. Just want to give you an opportunity for that because we so appreciate all you've done in the past year. Yeah, I wanted to just give you the floor here.
Yeah. Oof. Okay.
No pressure.
Well, I've gained 15 pounds.
What a great place to start.
So I now have a standing desk for my treadmill. No, it has been an incredible year and so many things that we've done over the year. I'm going to get a little emotional. One of the things that drives me is realizing that this resource has been here all along and I didn't know, like I didn't realize, and I really wish I had. I mean, I knew, but I didn't understand to the full extent. But I'm not very good at asking for help. So that might be part of it too. That's a classic, like Midwestern.
Yep.
I'll go out there so I can
get
do it. So a big part of that is on me. Yeah. Just seeing what this organization does and how many ways they help families and the opportunities that are there, and I'm just really grateful to be here. It's such an inspiring place to work. All the things that we've done, getting to go to DC in May was really incredible. Getting to, be a part of the art share, getting to start this podcast, the Nurse Lynn, just all the ways that we're helping out is very inspiring. And I'm very grateful to be a part of it. And I'm grateful to work with people who are so passionate, and to have a CEO like Stacy who we can come to with like, oh, we got this idea. And she's like, great, do it. Let's do it. It's so cool. It's just really, I love it. I love working here. So yeah.
Well, that's awesome to hear because we love having you. I'm sorry to make you emotional on a Monday as we record this. But yeah, all the things you've listed too, we could not have done without you. Like, you spearheaded and supported all of those things. And I think that the community is just so lucky to be able to have your wisdom and your creativity and passion and drive to do this work. So thank you, Annie, for everything. And
thank you.
I can't wait to see what the next year has in store. Yeah. Get ready for conference.
It's got more treadmill time for me, for sure.
More treadmill time. Lessons learned as we go, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening today, and we will be back next Tuesday with a new episode. Thank you for listening to this episode of PWS United. If you want to learn more about Prader-Willi syndrome and how PWSA USA is making strides in advocacy, family support, and research, visit www.pwsausa.org. And while you're there, we encourage you to sign up for our Pulse email newsletter to stay informed about the latest news, resources, and events. Don't forget to subscribe to the PWS United podcast so you never miss an episode. Our team is always available to support families and their loved ones living with PWS 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. You can call us at 941-312-0400 or email info@pwsausa.org. Catch a new episode next Tuesday, and until then, have a great week.